So right now I'm talking about the metric conversion to the same unit. So this is really similar to the different unit thing, except we have to set up the King Henry with the prefix. And I can talk about the sample 2. Actually, the sample 2 that I gave you is just, there's a mistake on the worksheet. So by the way, I can talk about number 2 and then I will do number 4. Because number 1 we talk in class and number 3 we also do that in class. So I'm going to do number 2 and number 4. So number 2 is how many milliliter are in 0.723 kiloliter. So first of all, we know that we had to use King Henry because they are the same unit based on the fact that I can underline both unit and the unit are liters. Okay, so I underline the unit and then I'm going to circle my prefix, which is milli and kilo. And then I can write this equation down. I say 0.723 kiloliter to question mark milliliter. Again, I underline my unit and then I circle my prefix. Okay, so the first step you want to do is you want to write down the King Henry sentence. So King Henry dead by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so there's a mistake on the notes here. Okay, so I'm going to fix that. Okay, so I circle KL. So I'm going to circle the K and draw the L and underline it. I circle ML. So I'm going to circle my M and put the L and underline it. And we always say that 1 is always on top, 0 is always on the bottom. So we put 1 always on top, 0 always on the bottom. And then I'm going to draw the arrow pointing. Okay, so always the 1 on the top, pointing toward the KL. And then 0 is always on the bottom, pointing toward the ML. So in between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 5 spaces. Each one I will put a 0 on. Okay, so 1 always on the top, 0 always on the bottom, and in the middle, how many spaces of the prefix, how many 0 you put. That would be step 1. And step 2, we can develop the relationship from the King Henry. So you always read from the top, and your relationship always start with 1. So you gotta write 1 KL. 1 KL equals million, right? 10060, right? And then ML. So you're going to read from the top. 1 KL equals 1 and then 60 and then ML. Okay, so this will be my relationship. And then you want to set up Superman, 0.2723 KL. And my KL is on the bottom because they have the same unit, I can cancel. And then this number, the ML, will be on the top. And then I cancel, I circle my can and cancel, and I write out this equation, and I got this number, but then I have to round it to 2 places, and the answer is ML. Okay, so this is like multiplication. The number 1 is division, which is like same thing, except you set up the King Henry, and then we follow, okay, this is M, no prefix, so it means that it's a base. And then I put the M. This is H. I circle the H and underline the M. So I circle the H, add the M on it. And then again, always the 1 on the top, 0 on the bottom. And I draw the arrow. And then there's a 1, 0 in between. So I always write the relationship from the top. So 1 HM equals 100 M. And then the setup the Superman is the same thing as before. So this is different from the different unit. Is because this one, we don't use the metric chart. We use the prefix. We use the King Henry. And then besides the King Henry, everything else is the same. And I did the number 3 here. So it's MM to M. Again, the M has no prefix. So it's the base. Okay. The MM. All right. And then the 1 is always on top. 0 always on the bottom. And then I draw the arrow. And then when I write the relationship, always the 1 first. 1M equals 1000 mm. So in this case, this is division. Now, again, I don't remember division or multiplication. See, this is division, this is division, this is multiplication. I don't remember. All I remember is cancel the unit. So let me do number 4 here. How many centigram are in 11.5 decagram? So we need to recognize that it is a same unit. How do I know same unit? Because I can tell there's a gram there. And then my unit my prefix, I have centi and have deca. So this is same unit with different prefix. Then I can use same unit thing. I'm going to write the equation thing. 11.5, deca is dA, gram is G, right? Question mark, how many centis? Gram, so centi, gram. All right, I'm going to box this. And I'm going to do the same thing. I underline my unit, and then I circle my prefix. I underline my unit, I circle my prefix. So step 1, I'm going to write King Henry. So King Henry that by drinking chocolate milk. And then you see that I circle my dA and add the G. So I circle my dA, right? Same thing. And then I add the G and underline. So you see that this is the same thing as that. And then I circle my C. Okay, so I circle my C, right? I circle my C. And then I'm going to add the G, underline it. So you see that DAG, same as DAG. CG, same thing as CG, underline. And then the 1 is always on the top, draw the arrow. 0 is always on the bottom, draw the arrow. And then in between there are 2, so then I put 2, 0. So then when I write the relationship, I always write from the top, I always start with the 1. So 1 DAG, okay, 1 DAG, okay, equals 1000 CG. 1 DAG equals 1000 CG. So that's my relationship. 1 DAG equals 1000 CG. And then number 3, I can set up the Superman. 11.5 DAG. So again, my DAG has to be on the bottom because these two must be the same unit. So then I can cancel. And then my 1000 CG will be on the top. So then I'm going to circle my unit, DAG. They're the same unit, DAG, DAG. So I circle and I cancel. Okay? So after this, I'm going to write it 11.5, okay, times 1000 CG over 1. So I believe this equals to 11.5, so 1, 2, yeah. I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I believe I end up with this. And then 4 and 5, I'm going to round it to 2 places. So it will be 11,500.00. And the unit is CG.